I'm not gonna lie. Putting coffee creamer in my tea has probably become my new favorite addiction other than coffee. I don't know why, but it is. And on that note, welcome back, friends, to Books and Coffee, where I sit here, drink either a cup of joe or, in this case, some tea with creamer, and we get to talk about books that I've read and that I like and I want to share with y'all. But yes, wrapping up the month of April with our Disney Twisted Tales. Definitely had so much fun talking to you guys about these books. Again, they're probably one of my favorite Disney retellings in terms of like sticking to like the actual Disney stories, but obviously with a twist. But obviously, guys, I wanted to save the best for last. If you couldn't guess what book I saved for last, don't know how to make it more plainly obvious. But yes, guys, so the book we are going to be book reviewing for our final Disney Twisted Tales book is the Beauty and the Beast book, As Old as Time, with the twist of what if Belle's mother cursed the beast. So yes, guys, as always, I mean, man, again, these book covers, whoever designs these book covers, I mean, kudos to you, man, because when I saw this book cover, so step back. This book right here was actually the first Disney Twisted Tales that I actually bought and read. And obviously for me, it was the book cover. Like, I mean, look at it. Look how cool that is. That is, oh gosh. It is so cool. And then of course the twist is obviously another thing that got me too, which is what if Belle's mother cursed the beast? Like, what? The one character in Beauty and the Beast that, at least for me, I felt like, what happened? Like, who was she? Where did she go? Why is she not here? Like, what happened? And I feel like even the answer that we got in the live action movie, I felt like wasn't the one that I wanted. And I mean, it's the one that made the most sense, like if you think about it, but I was like, no. So yes, Belle's mother has always just been one of those, even like, especially back in the day when I just watched the cartoon version, was like, where is she? What happened to her? I mean, you know, as you get older, you do think that's like, oh, well, she's dead. Because that's how all Disney does their mothers and their movies dirty, is you know, they kill them off. So before we jump into this crazy book, I definitely obviously want to hit up a little bit more about the author, who again is Miss Liz Braswell. I talked about her in the first video that I did of the Twisted Tales, because she also was the one who wrote Part of Your World, which was the Little Mermaid Twisted Tale that I covered in my first video. And so one of the facts that I had brought up when I first did that video that I discovered was that she actually produced video games after going to college learning Egyptology, which I thought was hilarious. And so out of curiosity, I actually went onto a Google and figured out what games that she actually helped produce. And I gotta say, some of them are pretty interesting, and ones I never really thought she would be involved in, but there you go. So the list consists of, but not like all of it. I wasn't able to put too much, but I just kind of like picked out the most interesting ones, which she actually helped produce Star Trek Deep Space Nine. She produced 2 of them, actually. She produced the Farscape, the game, Darkened Sky, as well as Shattered Light. I'm not familiar with the other 3, but when I read that she helped produce like the Star Trek games, I was like, what? You were part of that? Like, okay, cool. I mean, I've never played the Star Trek games. I do have like some friends and like family that have played them. Not really familiar. If anything, I'm more into like the Star Trek TV series and the movies. And by TV series, I mean the original one, because that's what my mom grew up on, and so that's what she introduced me to. So yes, y'all, I am all about Captain Kirk. Thank you very much. much. So yeah, but I just thought that was super cool, the different games that she produced. There's a lot more on her list, but the Star Trek games, she actually produced not just the Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but she actually did, like, I want to say like 5 others, and that was really, and I thought that was really cool. Another really cute fun fact that I just kind of got a chuckle out of was her life description in the back of the book. Like, I had read it before, but it was one of those where when I was wanting to find a little bit more fun trivia about her, I kind of just read the back of the book, and I gotta say, I got quite a chuckle out of it, as I feel like if I were an author, this is exactly what my audio would look like if I was her. So it's great. But her description of her life is that she currently lives in Brooklyn with her husband, her 2 children, a cat, a part-time dog, 3 fish, and 5 coffee trees that she is adamant will sprout coffee beans at any moment now. And you know what? I'm kind of jealous. Like, I have my cat, obviously, as you've seen him every now and then. And I feel like if I were to describe my life, like, again, if I were an author and I was just writing my little bio, it would be like, I live in, this place. I live with my son, aka my cat, and I am currently surrounded by 3 other fictional men. Currently 15 in the waiting. Oh man, guys. My TBR list has gotten so long. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to make a video about it, but that's neither here nor there. Back to Beauty and the Beast. So when it comes to this beautiful little masterpiece, it was actually published on September 6, 2016, and it's actually the number 3 book in the Twisted Tales series. The first one being A Whole New World, which is the Aladdin, and then Once Upon a Dream, which is the Sleeping Beauty one. And now for my favorite part of the video, other than talking about the book, is introducing you to the plot of our story. What if Belle's mother cursed the beast? Belle is a lot of things. Smart, resourceful, restless. She longs to escape her poor provincial town for good. She wants to explore the world, despite her father's reluctance to leave their little cottage in case Belle's mother returns. A mother she barely remembers. Belle also happens to be the captive of a terrifying, angry beast. And that is her primary concern. But when Belle touches the beast's enchanted rose, intriguing images flood her mind. Images of the mother she believed she would never see again. Stranger still, she sees that her mother is none other than the beautiful enchantress who cursed the beast, his castle, and all its inhabitants. Shocked and confused, Belle and the beast must work together to unravel a dark mystery about their families that is 21 years in the making. I love it so much. Oh my gosh, guys, like it's so good. Oh my gosh, like doesn't it just grab you? Like, oh my gosh, like just within just reading that, like again, I remember, and again, this goes into, I mean, again, I'm just gonna start right off. This is one of the biggest reasons why I saved this book for last. Not only is Belle my favorite Disney princess, and again, I've said this before, but I connect with her on so many levels, in terms of her just being a bookworm, in terms of her just wanting adventure, and just wanting to see the world, wanting to experience life. And I feel like Belle has a lot more courage than I do, but you know what? Screw it. I'm definitely something I want to embody more in my life, so there you go. Just made a mid-New Year's resolution for myself. Ha! I could do that. But of course, it's not just that. But, like, guys, like, did you not hear that description? Like, ah! Out of the last 2 Twisted Tale books that we've read, they either continue on towards the end of the story with the twist, or they kind of like change the ending a bit. In this one, they nearly change the entire story, at least like at the beginning of the movie, if you think about it. Because in this description, I mean, it basically changes the whole story. And obviously, like, based off the description, like, you hear Belle touches the rose. And it was one of those where I remember, like, reading it and being like, wait, what? She touches it? Because, again, if you remember in the movie, you know, when she's, like, looking for him and she, you know, goes nosy and goes up into the West Wing where she wasn't supposed to go, and she takes the rose off, it's that moment in the movie where she's just about to touch it, and obviously, you know, everything follows through. In this book, she actually touches it. And again, she's hit with all of these images, and so much happens and falls apart. And it's one of those where, like, you are literally sent into a brand new adventure, and you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know, like, what twists, what turns are about to happen. Like, holy crap. Like, it's so good. And of course, like I said, the other big thing that was super, super cool about this book was that we get more information on Belle's mom. We actually get to experience Belle's mom in this book, in terms of, like, when we go from past to present, which kind of, I don't want to jump too far ahead as to my ratings, as to that part of the book, but I will get to it. But yes, it was so interesting, because obviously, like again, won't spoil too much, guys, because again, this is a book that I absolutely recommend that you go and you read for yourself, because it is just, it is so fun. It is so fun. Like, I remember reading, like, the name of the chapters, and, like, just laughing so hard and enjoying myself beyond belief at getting to just have a new adventure. And I think overall, that's what I absolutely adored about this book, was I got to have a new adventure. And it's not to say that the last 2 books didn't let me have that new adventure, but the way that I got to have this new adventure was that they completely changed the story from the movie. The other 2 books were like, the movies happened, and they had a different ending. And that's what it was. They all had a different ending. Whereas this one changes nearly the beginning of the movie. Like, and like, I can't even describe to you guys, like, just how amazing the writing is. Like, Liz Braswell does it again for me in this book. And it's that she makes me fall in love with all of these characters again. She lets me get to see a whole new side to all of these characters again. I mean, one of the people that you get to really see the different side of is the Beast. And obviously the bigger one of him is Belle's mom. Like, holy crap. Like, if anything, she's the one character that I was super excited to get to know more. And going back to Liz Braswell's writing, I think what was super cool about this book and the way she wrote it was, when you start the beginning of the book, it starts with like, kind of like this lady almost trapped somewhere. You don't know where she's trapped, but she's kind of going through the way I guess like someone would happen in, like, an insane asylum. She's going through, like, one of those episodes where she's having visions and memories of her past kind of, like, assault her, while also trying to keep herself grounded in the real world. And that's, of course, when you realize, like, oh my gosh, this is her mom. And then it flashes to Belle. And then, like, you go through kind of a little bit of Belle's perspective of, like, going through town, you know, going to the library, and, like, all of that jazz. And then we go back to Belle's mom. And then, in terms of, like, with that flashback, it actually talks about Belle's mom and how the village they used to live in, how that used to be, and how they were actually surrounded by magical creatures. Like, they were surrounded by magic. And that is what was super cool to me, because obviously then what happens is that then it, like, will go and talk and, like, be in the mom's point of view, and how she first meets the dad, which is, by the way, the cutest scene in the whole, and to me, in that whole book. Super cute and so freaking heartwarming. Like, I almost overdosed on how much sweetness it was. It was just great. And then, of course, they flash back to Belle, and then you kind of get a little bit of like the story that you already know. And then they keep flashing back to the mom. So it's this back and forth, really cool, like storytelling that eventually just all kind of leads to one point, which is the end of the book, the climax of everything. And oh my gosh, and understanding that the way that the curse works and like the consequences of Belle touching the rose, like again, not super spoilery, in terms of what happens after she touches it, but basically she kind of throws a wrench in the curse. It's like one of those where it's not as simple as you must fall in love, with someone, like truly fall in love, and they truly need to fall in love with you. It's not as simple as that. And that was so cool because again, it's like in the movie, it's very black and white, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I know how this works. Well, the moment Belle touches the rose in this in the book, it throws a completely different wrench in the curse, and then suddenly the curse doesn't work the way it's supposed to work. It's not gonna break the way it's supposed to originally break, and they have to find a whole new way on how to break the curse. It is mind-blowing, and it is so much fun to watch and to just experience all of this amazing chaos and like adventure. Oh my gosh, it is so cool. And not only that, but there's a mystery wrapped involved, because obviously the biggest question is, well, what happened to Belle's mom? Like, what made her curse the beast? Which you do find out towards like that, not mini climax, but like towards like when the story is almost coming to like that tipping point, because we do find out why she does curse the beast. But in terms of like the aftermath, like what happened to her after she cursed him? Because obviously, like, she wasn't there, for Belle and her dad. Like, something happened and she disappeared. And who knows where she went? And it is one of those where it was like, oh my gosh, like being able to like go through that adventure and just get to discover it. And again, this to me is just a credit to Liz Braswell's writing, because she really did keep me invested with every chapter, with every page. Like, and I think that's why I absolutely adored the going back and forth between Belle's point of view and Belle's mom's point of view. And it's because where one chapter would end of Belle's mom's point of view, where you would be like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next, it would revert back to Belle. And even though you'd be like, dang it, I want to know, but you're also invested in what Belle's doing and what the beast is doing and how they're handling this new version of the curse. And so then you get invested into that part of the story. And then when you get to the end of that chapter, you're like, oh man, what's going to happen next? And then it's like back to Belle's mom. And you're just like, oh man, like I just want to know what's going to happen in each person. But I'm willing to sit through this because I really just want to know what happens. And it's not like out of frustration, because I do know there are some authors that have done that in the past that I've read, and I'm not a big fan of it. And when it comes to a lot of like the way that they do it, because it's almost like, it's needless. It's one of those, it's like you could have just done all this much sooner or have done it in a really fun way and I would have enjoyed it, but you're just making it annoying. Liz Braswell though, no, she makes it extremely entertaining, extremely invested, and it is just fantastic writing on her part. And it really is just one of those where, like, I mean, I bulldozed through this book, I want to say, in like a day. I think it's over like 400, what? Let me see. I think it's like 200, 300 pages. I don't know. What do you think, sir? It's like, yeah, the whole book is 484 pages long. Like, I bulldozed through this thing in like a day. That is how heavily invested I was in this book. And again, it was one of those books where I, even to this day, I talk about it forever. I have sung its praises up and down. It is one of those where, like, I'm probably gonna eventually reread this. Like, this is one of those books that I would reread it just because in my head it played like a movie. And let me tell you, those are my favorite kind of books, is when I get so wrapped up in the story and the characters that I kind of just get lost. And the way that it plays out in my brain is like a movie. And it's one of those where it's like, it's why this book is kind of really special to me in that way, because it is one of those where it's like I can just get lost in a story that holds characters that I already absolutely love, and I get to re-experience it in a whole new setting and a whole new lighting. And it is absolutely fun, and I am so happy that it exists. So yes, guys, when it comes to rating our beautiful, beautiful A Tale as Old as Time, definitely, guys, I mean, if you haven't guessed it, 5 out of 5 coffee cups. I mean, come on. This book, I highly, highly recommend to anyone who is in love with the Disney movie, who loves Beauty and the Beast. I definitely recommend it to younger readers as well, as it's just one of those where, like, it really does fuel your fantasy. Like, if you love the really, like, high fantasy but are familiar with the Disney stories, definitely recommend it. It's also a really easy read. Like I said, I myself read it within a day. So, I mean, if you're looking to kill an afternoon, go for it. But definitely recommend it to all of my younger readers out there. You will absolutely enjoy it. You will absolutely love it. Honestly, it makes for a great present. Like birthday, Halloween, whatever. You could buy it whenever. And you could buy it digitally, physically. Honestly, for me, I mean, come on. How could you not want to own this beautiful thing? Like, physically, like, come on. It's pretty. It's so pretty. I love it so much. But yeah, guys, thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this Disney Twisted Tales series. It's a new month. Can you believe it? We've made it to May. I am so shocked by how quickly this year is going by so far. It's actually kind of scary, as it always is every year. But guys, thank you so much for your constant support. If you haven't already started following me, you could definitely follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, as well as Twitter. All the book handles are at bookwormweeb.com or at bookwormweeb. If you haven't already yet, please like, subscribe, go check out my other videos. But guys, we are in the month of May. I am so excited. I've already got a little bit of planning ahead, but in terms of next week's video, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it a manga vibes video, and it's actually going to be a little longer because I'm going to be talking about a series that is very dear to my heart, and I'm just excited to share it with you guys. I'm actually very excited to share a lot of manga with you guys, especially anime that I'm really into, which is something else I'm going to be introducing in the month of May, is anime that I highly recommend based off of the kind of stories that I like. So, very excited. In terms of my next books, guys, I'm honestly thinking about kind of mixing it up a little bit. It's not to say that I don't have enough books, but it's just I don't know what to talk about next, to be honest. I'm just kind of go with what feels right for the day, and I really am happy that you guys are joining me and that you're with me on this journey. I mean, I'm very excited to talk about books and just get to hang out with you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. So, but yeah, guys, thank you again so much. Like I said, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.